Hi there and welcome back to the channel. I'm Qasim and today what I'm going to be doing is doing a live build with you for a pitch that I have for a potential client. So if you've seen some of my other previous videos, I've been working in like the learning development space for quite some time, basically helping businesses build like their digital solutions for learning. So what we're going to be doing today is that we're going to be building a prototype using Lovable for a brief that I've been given. Now, this brief potentially is going to be a longer project. So what I'm going to do is build like an MVP on Lovable, probably get into a certain stage, which I can kind of like woo them over with. And then if they go ahead with myself and they are happy with me, then we will be starting to build the actual product out. So I'll kick off straight into it just because it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of go through all this. So just to give you a little bit of concept, I'm not going to give you all the actual details from the email just because of sensitivity, but the actual brief that has been given to me is this. So the project focus, this is a piece of work on a personal presence, and I think this is actually kicking off something. Okay, so basically just a little bit of concept about this business. So basically it's a leadership and development company. And what it does is it basically helps leaders empower them to become better leaders. And what I can see from their platform at the moment, they seem like they've got like a questionnaire that they do, which then reveals kind of like the characteristics of that person. And then as a leader, you'll have like strengths and weaknesses. And then from your weaknesses, it'll basically give you courses based on where you can actually improve. And it'll make you understand a little bit more about yourself as a leader. But then it makes you, when you work with teams, is kind of go like, this is who I am as a leader, but these are the team members within my team, and this is the types of characteristics that they have. So looking at this is like they currently use a questionnaire and stakeholder inputs. So stakeholder inputs normally means like they'll normally send like a questionnaire to their peers and kind of and collect feedback from other people so that that leader can actually get feedback back. Users can work with coaches, tutors, and actors or practices. So they basically just do role play and access existing content, mostly by PowerPoint. So most of their content seems like it's going to be on PowerPoint from probably the courses that they've currently built. So it's not really that tedious. The client is very interested in how AI can enhance this, particularly through real-time assessment and adaptive coaching. So what it says here is what we're looking for. We need someone with a strong AI-driven experience with hands-on development. Hello, that's me. Ideally with capabilities such as personalization, learning paths, learning engines, AI coaches, mentors for skills and development, communication and onboarding, AI-generated assessments, quizzes and skills gaps analysis, LMS, LXP integration work. So basically LMS, LXP is basically the system that a lot of learning sits on. So what they want to do is API into them systems, but there's no clear direction to say, is that going to be integrating with their own LMS, or is that going to be looking to be integrated with a company's LMS, because that could get a bit complicated if that's the case. Training content automation. Okay. Designing and delaying AI agents for coaching, content transformation, and diagnoses. Right, so this isn't the clearest brief in the world. It's not what I would expect from a client, but this doesn't come from a client. This has come from it's a recruitment company who basically has a lot of relationships with kind of like the learning development world. And I saw a LinkedIn post going, we're looking for somebody who can build something like this. So I spoke to that agency and basically said to them, like, we need to understand more. But just to start off with, I'll take the concept of what they understand, which is this brief, and I'll see if I can just kind of build something, just because I kind of understand certain parts. So basically, what it says here is AI generated assessments, quizzes, and skills gaps. That's pretty straightforward because, say for example, you do a e-learning or a piece of learning, or in this case, like a PowerPoint, you can then take that information from that PowerPoint and just add some questions to go off the back of it. So it'll read that information from the PowerPoint and then it'll just ask some questions off the back of that, like a quiz and assessment. What else it can do is like you can train then obviously stuff like voice coaches, AI coaches onto the platform, so you can talk to that AI coach based off information that's been given to it. So that's something that I've actually done before anyway. So yeah, okay, so this, just to kind of give you a concept on monetary value. So if this is a piece of work that I win, it can be worth anything, but they're basically based on day rates. So I've basically quoted around about 550 to 650 pounds, so British pounds. So that's probably about $700 ish a day, sorry. So £650 a day in order for me to work on this. There's got a lot of stuff we can probably do in Lovable, but if they want us to be a full functional product, which then implements with their LMS, then it might not have to sit there. We might have to think about where else it can sit, because obviously with Lovable, there's only so much you can kind of do with it before it starts breaking. But let's see what we can do. So this is my kind of thought process in building this. So what I'm going to do is speak to ChatGPT and just start getting an idea, because there's some parts that it might just be able to figure out based off of this brief. What I'm going to do is also just put in the company name in here and just give it a bit of context. So being approached by, I'll put the website in, to support them to build a platform that does the following. What I need you to do is research and understand. Oops. I don't know why I saw capitals there. And I need you to understand and look into the business first, then help me with what we can build in love. Let me just get Lovable back up. I always forget, is it .dev? Here it is, Lovable.dev. So MVP, basically minimal viable product, which is basically like what they can use in order to launch. And then obviously then you can start building on top of that. What else we need to do? So the first, okay, let's just start off with that, and then we can come up with some prompts and see what it kind of comes out with. Actually, I actually really want this to be agent mode. Let's see if we can kind of do without agent mode. Okay, so AI opportunities, build person. Okay, it's not really giving me much that I actually want, so I'm gonna just take this prompt. I'm just gonna restart this actually. I'm gonna do this in agent mode, just because I think it needs to look a little bit deeper into this. Because it's taking everything. Why is it taking everything? This is the fun of a live build. All right, let's just go back onto my prompt. And then go back to new chat, agent. I'm going to cut off the thing. Okay, let's see now that it's actually thinking about this properly. And this is kind of what you need to do now when you're building these types of products. Is what I do is I kind of conversate with ChatGPT first. I did actually use, I keep saying Maximus now that I'm actually looking at the actual thing, Manus, when I was building one of my other products, which is, I think with Manus it was basically before ChatGPT had its agent mode. So it very similar to what it's doing now. It basically looked into everything a little bit more deeper, and then it starts basically giving me some solutions off the back of that. Now, the reason why I do this opposed to just going directly straight into Lovable is it's just because I think it kind of breaks it down a little bit better, and it makes it think about what else is possible besides what I'm feeding it. Because what I'm trying to do is go, what else have I missed from this short description that I've been given to build this product? So what I want to do is I want to start getting the prompts from ChatGPT in order to then build the actual Lovable products framework, because there'll be things that I might miss. So eventually, when this has kind of gone through this kind of search piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to build me all the prompts I need to build the product which I've described, and then let's see how far we can get on. naturally with Lovable, what I've noticed is like it will build at certain points via the prompts, but then you have to actually think for yourself and kind of go, okay, this page, for example, is it linking to anywhere? Where's it meant to go? What's it meant to be on that back of that page? If I do this, what else is meant to happen off the back of that? So this whole one-shot prompt business that a lot of people talk about is good for like very basic things. But when you're trying to build something complex, such as what I'm trying to do now, you need to really think about what it is that you're actually looking to achieve from this product. And this is just a demo version, remember, because I haven't even won the client yet. But I wanted to make it good enough where they see it and go, okay, this is the guy that I actually want because he gets what we're trying to build here, he gets what we're trying to achieve. So that's basically why I'm kind of going a little bit more further. I actually don't need to do this in order to pitch to this client. I think it's just one of them things like when you go over and above somebody's expectations when it comes to winning them over, especially if you're trying to get a job or a client which is high paying, you need to do these types of things in order to actually win them over, because anybody can say they can build something. I was speaking to, whilst this is kind of going down for this, we do a lot of AI agent work in my agency, voice agents, and a other agency basically promised a client, 8 clients actually, that they can basically integrate with a CRM, a dental system, fully with no problems, took the money, and then they ran off with that money. They never delivered on what they promised to do, because I think they realized afterwards that integrations into certain like systems are a lot more complicated than just APIing in. We have to write code and so forth in order to actually integrate with that system. So we've actually built that solution. So we're kind of coming in to solve the issue of the other agency and fix problems. So this is why I like to do things a bit more thorough, especially in this new AI world, because people lose confidence fast if things don't work. So for me, it's just kind of like going the extra mile in order to get what I want. So what I'll do is I'll quickly just pause the video because I feel like I'm rambling at the minute while it's just kind of just doing what it's doing. And then I'll come back when I get some decent prompts. Okay, so I'm back now, and this is the prompts that is basically given me to start building this in to Lovable. Now, actually, sometimes when I look at these prompts, sometimes I actually don't know what it's going to do until I start building it. So sometimes it builds right and sometimes it doesn't, but we'll have a go. I think Manus is really good at doing this. It's okay. So we'll just use ChatGPT just because I'm not going to be using Manus today. But what I'll do is just literally step by step, go into Lovable, building this prompt. So let's see what we get at the end of it and see if it's, the thing is, this doesn't need to be the final product, because it's basically just to show them something based on what they've kind of shown in the description. So yeah, what we're going to do is just basically just build them something that we can kind of go on the call whenever I get that call to go, okay, this is exactly what, here's a prototype based on what you said. And I think it will just allow them to kind of go, oh, okay, this guy actually knows what he's doing. He can build product as well as do a strategy around that product. Because I think there's 2 things. I mean, it says on the brief as well, it's like they don't want somebody just to come in and do strategy. They want somebody to come in and actually do strategy and build. So, excuse me. Okay, so the thing is about this whole process now is basically going to keep going back and forth with the prompt. So and getting me to kind of allow and all the rest of it. This is just kind of the first basis of Lovable if you haven't used it before. So what I'm going to do is I'll pause the video again. I'll do some of the builds and then I'll come back. Okay, so I just want to just come back to you. So what basically I've been doing is I built out the first 4 prompts of what the AI is giving me, so ChatGPT, and I have no clue what it's actually building. I'm just letting it build it based off the prompts, but it seems like it's doing something. So what it looks like it's given us is a dashboard for leaders. Let's have a look. So it looks like we've got a self-assessment here. So take a few minutes to reflect on your leadership style through comprehensive self-assessment, covering first impressions, communication skills. So it looks like what it's doing is, I think on the original brief, it says like assessments are done elsewhere. So it looks like we're actually doing the actual assessments on here. So it looks like it's built like a questionnaire type of form. Let's see what that does. Click on there. Click on these. And just call these just whatever they say they are. This is probably what most people do in these types of assessments, to be honest. This is what I used to do when I used to be a leader, because I couldn't be bothered. Right, so it looks like it's analyzing using AI, reviewing your self-assessment and preparing a personalized insights. Okay, amazing. So maybe it hasn't built the results yet. Let's see what the next step is. What it's basically said. Coaching. So this is what I mean about Lovable, right? So there's going to be loads of bugs in this. So I made the assumption that should basically come through. Let me just say the results page didn't work. Now, normally what I do with Lovable is that I actually screenshot the error code. So whatever came up on screen, I'll screenshot that and normally plonk it into the chat and just keep iterating it so Lovable will basically be able to fix its problems. And that's a good thing. Is like, look, it's not everything's perfect on this type of stuff. You're going to get bugs, you're going to get errors. So it's how do you actually problem solve when building with tools such as this? And the way I always see it is just have a conversation with it as if you're talking to somebody next to you. So you saw a problem. Hey, there's a problem on here. Can you fix it? Cool. This is what it said. And just keep going back and forth until the problem's been resolved. So that was prompt 4. I think we've got 10 prompts at the minute. So what I'm going to do is just build this AI coach piece. Let's see what it says. And just keep working my way down, and then hopefully we'll get some sort of like prototype version which we can show to them. But what I'll do is I'll probably make it a little bit more advanced just based off my own knowledge. I want to show them, like, obviously it says like they have most of their contents done about like PowerPoint. So what I'll do is like I will probably build like a course library page which has all their like courses on there, so loads of PowerPoints on there, maybe some PDFs and stuff like that. And then maybe then look at how I can feed the AI that information, and then maybe build a chatbot or an actual conversation bot that I can actually have with the AI, so it can actually have conversations back and forth, and it should be able to like surface information based off the information that's being fed to it. So that's probably a feature what I'll probably do later on. But I'm just thinking, like, is that needed for this demo? Okay, so if I go back to the results page, let's say you said it's back to normal now. Obviously I did that assessment. Nope, we're still getting a 404 code. Still getting this error code on the assessment results page. So you can just screenshot it, just copy and paste if it's like something simple like this. But if it's that error code and stuff like that, you can literally just screenshot and then it'll just be able to read it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will build out the rest of the product and then see how we get on to the end of the prompts at least, and see what product we actually come out with. And then, like I said before, I think this is what's really important to highlight with Lovable, is these real case scenarios, as this is where errors happen. This is what happens off the back of it. I think one thing as well is what I've noticed is when you try to give it too big of a prompt, it won't work as well as if you just give it bite-sized prompts. So if there's a prompt, like some of these ChatGPT prompts are pretty lengthy, but I'm just doing it for testing purposes. But sometimes if I'm writing it myself, I'll probably just do like a line at a time and just kind of go through there. But let's see. I mean, it's getting better now. I think it's built off Claude now, so it's no longer on, I can't remember who it was using before in order to actually write the code, but now it's using Claude 4.5, I think it is. So it's a lot more advanced than it was before, which is good. So, okay, so let's see if that works now. Okay. Right, it seems like it's still happening. So basically this is something that I'll probably fix at a later stage. Not ideal. And then let's go to like assessment results. So I've got this, oh look, we've got this part here. So it's giving me some like results based off my strengths and weaknesses and growth areas. So basically that's what it's called, growth areas, not the weaknesses. Okay, so that is basically just the leadership assessment piece. Let's keep building what the prompts actually say, and then we'll go from there, because I need to really figure out what it's actually building and what it's basically taking from that original brief. Because let's just have a look at the original brief again. So personalized learning paths and adaptive learning engines, AI coaches, mentors, and skills development, communications, or onboarding, AI generated assessments, quizzes, skills gaps analysis, integration with an LMS LXP, training content automation, and designing and deploying AI agents for coaching, content transformation, and diagnosis. Right, I think a lot of people with the AI agent piece don't actually know what AI agents are. So I think sometimes it's just the workflow. So obviously I haven't spoke to this client, so I actually don't know what it is that they're actually looking for. I'm only going off this like really basic brief that I've been given, which is a terrible brief, to be honest. I think if a client's going out for some work, they should be asking for a lot more detail than this. I mean, come on, they've got ChatGPT. It can literally create you a brief in like 2 minutes. This is, to me, pretty lazy, which makes you think it's kind of a good and bad thing at the same time, because a lot of these organizations actually don't know what they're looking for. So they're going to be coming to people like me who understand the area. I've worked with these companies before in my previous organization, and I think these guys actually bid for a piece of work but didn't actually get it because they weren't with it. We weren't with another company. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. But yeah, let's keep building. Let's see what we come out with, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I've just come to a little bit of not a blocker, but I just want to kind of explain what this potentially is. So with Lovable, you can't actually like have it send emails out to people without a third-party API, which is capable of doing that. So with what it recommends is a platform called Resend. I've used it on another Lovable build or a couple of Lovable builds that I've actually built. And once you get a subscription to that, I think it's like $9.99 a month or something such as that, you can create API keys, which then allow you to use it for emailing out. So say, for example, you want there to be reminders, or when somebody books into something, it emails that person. There's certain things that you can do. So obviously you need that API key in order to do that. But at the moment, I'm not going to actually do that, just because obviously this is a demo that I'm doing for somebody. So I'm not going to be adding an API key for Resend. And plus, I'll probably have them create their own Resend account, just because obviously the IP will be theirs if they go ahead with build. And like I said before, I don't know if I'll be building the actual product on Lovable, but who knows? So yeah, let me skip this part, but I thought it'd be really important just to kind of show you that. So at the moment, what I'm on prompt 7, so it's currently building this part now. So I've got 3 more prompts to go, and then we'll basically get to the end, and then we'll see what we actually come out with. So this will just be my starting point. And then I'm going to be basically advancing on top of this, just because I'll probably go through it and just test it and make sure like everything works. So you don't want to do a demo that goes, oh, it doesn't work here because of X. Like, you want a demo that works within reason. So what I'm going to do is obviously then brand it as well and make it look a bit more whizzy. So we do have quite a few pages built at the moment. I don't really know what coach is in a second. Let's have a look. So welcome to your AI coach. This is maximum AI coach. Start conversation. Hello, I'd like to work on my leadership presence. See what that does. Coach is thinking. So it's going to give some details here. Obviously, it's not really taking any information from anywhere at the minute. It's kind of a bit basic right now. It's not even connected to OpenAI or ChatGPT, however you want to look at it. You can connect the API keys into that, so it can obviously give you more context. But then it's just, people then go, what's the difference between this and then ChatGPT? So you actually want it to be fed off the information that they provide. So their courses, their PowerPoints, their data needs to go into here in order for it to feed off that. And then we need a way as well, like when there's any updates of like information that they want to update onto the system, how do they do that without contacting me? So this is basically, I mean, this, like, as we said before, for demo purposes, this is okay. But obviously this is just a quick demo of the build. So yeah, this is what we get to so far. And then I'll show you at the end what the end product looks like. Okay, so the build has been done based off the OpenAI prompts that I've fed it. So let's have a little look of what we've actually built here. So let's have a little look. Can we make this full screen? We can't. Do you know what? I'm going to just publish it and then let's have a look how it would look on, I think on preview actually. You can just preview it without the chat. Oh, there you go. Okay, so what is given us then? So we've got a login page, which then brings me to my dashboard. My dashboard is like my leader dashboard. It's got a self-assessment, which is basically what that means is like I will look at my own details based off me or what I think I am as a leadership or a leader. You've got coaching and you've got these like learning paths. So I actually don't know what happened. So I think we looked at learning the coaching before, which wasn't the best. It does have some kind of details on here, but what I'll probably do is implement some like AI voice agent in here eventually. So let's just ask it. So how do I motivate a team that is remote, right? So that's a kind of common question that a lot of people ask is like, how do I motivate teams who are basically global or maybe don't work who work from home or whatever? So what it's saying is actually one thing I've just noticed here is actually going back and kind of talking about the assessment that I did, which is good. So it's basically going that. So let's begin with purpose-driven leadership communication skills in the context of remove motivation. What are the challenges? So it's asking some questions here. I think this will basically flow so much better if it was voice. Okay, so that's that. So learning pathways. So personalized modules based on the assessment gaps. Okay, let's see what we get here. Obviously, there's nothing sat on here at the moment, so it's not going to be able to surface any courses or any data, but I'm just curious to see what it's generating here or how it's going to generate with nothing being fed to it. So dressing for impact, evaluating brand first impressions. So it's basically giving me some like text-based information. Take a quiz. Okay, it's all right. Take some quiz. Got an assessment. Got 63%. Okay. Okay, so from a basic point of view, this is okay as a starting point. Obviously, I don't really know what the actual business needs or wants because, like I said before, it's based off hearsay, off that very basic overview. But I think I want to add some couple whizzy features in here just so they can really appreciate what is possible. So the good thing is that I've actually got video recordings of something that I did a while ago on if you're new to leadership. So I think if I can put them videos on here, because there's like 6 modules, put them on here, maybe get the AI to download the transcripts, and then we can ask questions to the AI based off the videos that have been inputted onto it. I think that'll be cool because it's like kind of like what Google did with like YouTube. You can obviously you watch the YouTube, you can ask questions, you can cut to certain points. So I'll kind of maybe base it off like kind of that framework. Other things, if they have got loads of PowerPoints, I'll basically look at how we can get a PowerPoint on here and then maybe do the same process. So instead of video, it could be PowerPoint or it could be PDF or whatever, and maybe some learning resources. So I think obviously when I start having the conversation with that client, I think it'll be a lot better to understand exactly what they're looking for. But like I said before, I want to show them something. Yes, I can show them audio flow and say that this is what I built for audio flow, but that doesn't really give them what I need or what they need here. So I think just kind of teasing them to say like this is the art of the possible, I think that'd be really nice. And then hopefully oversell it as well because they want some advanced features on there to really stand out and sell to people. Because ultimately what they're doing is that they're going to be taking this product from us and selling it to organizations that they probably already work with or have in the pipeline. So say, for example, I used to work for a company called Aviva. If they were to sell this product to Aviva alongside some like coaching and some other things that they probably do as an overall package, it will help them sell higher value prospects to businesses and individuals. So yeah, definitely something that I'm looking into. Obviously, let's have a look if it's even come out with like admin sessions. Wonder what it's kind of doing from an admin perspective. So it looks like I can manage bookings and so forth. Okay, it looks like we can actually build some sort of analytics as well based off like people's usage of data. Okay, these are things that are a bit more complex, but we've built this in what, like in 2 hours, an hour and a half, not even that. So yeah, it's not been the most exciting episode today, but these are the problems that you're really going to start facing when you're building Lovable products. I think you will have to keep playing around with this tool and kind of really building out what you're looking for. And I think with Lovable, one thing I have noticed is that you can take it quite far. Maybe not to like a enterprise level piece of platform software, but it can get pretty good these days. Like, this is interesting. What's this? Leadership dashboard. Alright, so it's giving me my communication styles. Oh, this is nice. Be interesting to see what this all is. So first impressions, skills gaps, take assessment. So if I take that assessment, does it then give me like a nice dashboard? I've already done this. So what am I learning? Roleplay. Start practice. What's this? Good morning. I've reviewed your desk briefly. You have 5 minutes to walk me through your company and why you should invest. Oh, the desk pitch. That's a bit of a weird one to have. What's practice? Schedule. I can book in a session with people. I want to maybe speak to my coach at this time. Book a session. Okay. Potentially some calendar invite type of thing going on there. Sessions. Practice. I think it's not really whizzy in the sense of like AI. This is what I mean. It depends on what they kind of expect from AI. Okay, I'll leave it there. What I'll do is I'll give you an update based off the actual feedback I have from the customer and if I actually have that conversation, because at the moment what happens is the kind of recruitment agency who works with this client will be giving them a pool of people. They will then arrange a call with who they think is a good fit, and that is when I have the opportunity to win them over, basically based off what we've done before. And then that's where I'll probably show them this like kind of like a demo platform, just to give them a little bit of an idea of what's the art of possible, or a basic overview anyway. Hence why I want to try and make it like as whizzy as possible for them to go, ooh, actually, I really want to work with this guy because he obviously knows what he's doing and has built something similar to what we're looking for before. So yeah, let's see how we get on, and then I'll give you guys an update. Speak soon. Bye.